This is the 2021 Brewtubers Online Brewers Club Yeast Experiment number 2, Saison. Thank you to our sponsors, Imperial Yeast, 5 Star Chemicals, Beer and Wine Hobby Homebrew Supply Store, Brewing America, all stainless steel mash paddle sponsors. Also Hopsteiner and Yakima Chief Hops. Get brewing.
Hey guys, Matt here at Rect Brewery. We're going to do another review of the Brewtubers Yeast Experiment number 2, the Saison. I have 2 left of these, so I pulled out this one. This is from the Boys at Exit 12. Another fellow canner. I believe they use the cannular, and they do the tall cans as well, a 16-ounce can. Really cool labels on this too, and I thought it was appropriate to use the Exit 12 glass that they sent me. Very cool. Thank you, Nick, for sending me that glass. It is really cool. Let me give you guys a close-up here of the label work. Did a nice job with these labels. Full of lots of good information. Very nice. All right, let's see what we have on here. So, they made sure to put all the sponsors on their labels. So thank you to all of our sponsors. They're all listed on here. They've said that they brewed on Saturday, May 15th. OG of 1060, final gravity 1012. They used the Imperial Rustic B56 yeast. Fermentation profile, they pitched it at 69 degrees, fermented at 71 for 4 days, cold crashed at for 4 days. 35 IBUs, 6.4% ABV. And they have a can date here written on the side of 6/7. Yeah, they got the government warning they listed on the side there. They got the Exit 12 and the Brewtubers on this side over here. Very, very cool. Let's see if there's any additional information on our little spreadsheet here. So they actually have the brewer name listed here as Brandon. So I don't know if Nick and Brandon did this together, if this was just Brandon. Either way, all good. They used one package and they used a starter. They did 5.5 gallons. They used the Anvil Foundry 240 volt system. Mashed at 151. Mash pH was 5. I'm assuming that's 5.0, or maybe they just left off the remaining numbers. A lot of us were in the 5.3, 5.4 range. So if this is 5, so this was mashed a little bit lower if that's true. Pre-boil gravity of 1050, original gravity of 1066. So that's interesting. There's another discrepancy here. There's a couple of people that had some slight differences. This says 1066, but on the can it says 1060. So I wonder which it actually is. Let's see. Yeah, fermentation 7% beer. This one says 6.4. So we'll go with a higher number because it does sound cooler. I think that's pretty much it on that. Let's go ahead and pop into this and then we'll talk about the yeast. I actually don't have any experience with this particular yeast either, although Imperial, I've used plenty of their yeast strains and they have always put together some really, really good cultures there and never had any issues with their yeast. Yeah, this looks really, really nice. Excellent carbonation. Probably a couple finger head there. And it's pretty clear. It's maybe a little bit of chill haze, I think, if anything, but it is pretty clear. It's not crystal clear, but I can see right through it. Plenty of bubbles streaming up. That head's probably not going anywhere anytime soon. It's sort of like a frothy head, nice small bubbles. So that's probably good to stick around for a while. And yeah, you can just see that upside down snowstorm effect with the bubbles. So very, very well carbonated, and it obviously didn't fit all in this glass, so I got some here to top it off in a bit. Let's talk about the yeast before we dive into this, because like I said, I don't have a lot of experience with this, so I would like to know a little more about it before I try to check it out. So the Imperial Belgian Ale Rustic B56, the temperature range of it is 68 to 80 degrees, flocculation of medium, attenuation of 72 to 76%, alcohol tolerance is 12%. They're saying that this is a fantastic choice for a Belgian Saison or a farmhouse beer. This unique yeast can be used in your Saison, farmhouse ale, or other Belgian styles with high ester levels, where high ester levels are important. Rustic Rustic typically provides a lot of bubblegum and fruity, juicy aromas that complement complex maltiness. Balanced by a light clove phenol profile, Rustic produces lovely flavor profiles indicative of those classic Belgian styles known and loved. So a lot of great information here about this yeast. Sounds great. So let's see what we have here. Let's see if I can kind of pick up any of the stuff they're talking about here. So let's go ahead and get an aroma on this. Yeah, I think this one's probably the most aromatic so far of the bunch that I've had. This is definitely screaming more of a Saison aroma to it. Less so of the maltiness, but I'm definitely picking up a good amount of sort of like that farmhouse peppery, cracked pepper. Getting maybe a little bit of the hops in this. So they're talking about a light clove phenol. Maybe I'm getting a hint of that. But that's got an excellent aroma to it. It's a little bit, like I was saying before about that volume knob. I know I keep bringing that up, but that's the only good descriptor I can come up with these Saisons, because a lot of them have been so similar. This one's, this one, in the aroma category, you crank it up. You can definitely smell that it's going to be a good Saison or farmhouse ale. Yeah, it's got a wonderful aroma to it. Let's check it out. Cheers. Yeah, so this one's definitely a lot more than most in the sort of spiciness, peppery Saison taste as well. That's great. It's good. Actually picking up maybe a little bit of that clove in the taste. They talk about producing a lot of bubblegum and fruity to juicy aromas, but I don't remember picking that up here. Let me try again. I mean, I'm definitely getting some good fruit from this, some nice kind of juiciness to it, but I can't say that I'm smelling the bubblegum. Maybe a little bit of the bubblegum now that I'm, maybe now that it's kind of sit here a little bit and the foam has died down. Now that you know what, there it is. Actually, I just had to swirl it up a bit. Yeah, there's that bubblegum. Yeah, and actually, it is quite present now. So it wasn't there at first. That's really interesting. But once the foam died down, I sort of swirled it a bit, and it sat in the glass for a minute. That bubblegum. Yeah, that bubblegum is front and center now, actually. That's quite interesting how it does that. When I first smelled it, I smelled the sort of like the cracked pepper, spicy, Saison farmhouse ale kind of characteristics you expect. That kind of took a bit of a back seat now that I kind of swirled it up. And it's mostly bubblegum. That's quite interesting. I love how it does that. It's really cool. However, with the taste on this, it's a delicious Saison, but for my personal preference, this is where you kind of have that, the scale I was talking about and that volume knob. I know people are going to laugh at me for that, but, this is not a middle-of-the-road Saison. This is more on the higher end. If you really want to get a lot of the stronger, I don't want to say stronger, but if you want more pronounced, more present Saison characteristics, this is the yeast for you. It's delicious, but for me, I think I like some of the more middle-of-the-road ones a little bit better. But this is delicious, don't get me wrong. There's nothing negative about this at all. But this one is probably the most, of all the ones I've tried so far, this one stands out the most because it's kind of above the pack as far as most of them being kind of the middle of the road. Yeah, that's beautiful. And from a brewer standpoint, it's actually, now that it's sat here a while, it's really cleared out some. I mean, I can't see any faults at all in this beer. Excellent craftsmanship brewing it, guys. Brandon and/or Nick, whoever actually brewed this, or both of you. Excellently crafted beer, and it's really cool that you guys joined in and I can try one of your beers. I haven't had one in a little while, so this was a very nice treat. But I'm going to leave it there, and thank you again to all of our sponsors. Thanks Exit 12 for joining this journey with us with all these Saison yeasts. This is really awesome, and I'll see everybody on the next review. Have a good night, everybody. Cheers.